So we are here to try to help people learn more about themselves, try to help people to find their real internal motivation, what they want to do with their lives. And when they know this, and when they all the time know this better and better and better, then everything gets so much easier to make the active decisions with regards to all the 6 core elements that we're talking about.
Yeah, I think for me, the distinctive of the Hintsa approach is that, as Heikki suggested, we don't impose something onto people. I think in typical health and wellbeing programs, often someone will do an assessment, they'll find out all the things that the person should be doing, they'll create a program to even integrate all those different practices. But the problem is often that's imposed. Those new ideas and new programs are imposed on a life that's already saturated. There's no energy or space available to do anything new. Whereas with the Hintsa approach, we start from the inside and work out. We start at the beginning and say, what do you really want to achieve? What are you doing now? Are the things that you're doing, do they reflect what you really care about? And then frame the different new activities, the new behaviors in the context of something they really care about, something they're really motivated to change, a goal that they really want to achieve. And so it's much more sustainable. But I think the other element in that is that the changes that we suggest, the ideas that we put in, as Heikki suggested, they come from within. We ask questions rather than giving answers, and help people find their own motivation. And also, we encourage them that those changes are quite small, because it's really just changing direction very slightly that results in big changes in the end, rather than having this spike, which then drops down very quickly. Simply moving more is really beneficial. And actually, there's some interesting evidence that suggests that even if you exercised really intentionally for 1 hour a day, you went to the gym and did your weights or did your spin class, if you don't have any incidental activity, i.e. if you're sedentary, you can completely undo the positive benefits of that exercise. So actually, if you don't feel like you've got the energy to go to the gym or go for a jog, that's okay, because the foundation should just be incidental activity. So if you feel lacking energy, lacking time, simply pull lever 1, move some more. Go for a walking meeting rather than meeting in a sedentary way. Stand up from your desk, as Heikki suggested. Take a little walk around the office. Go to the water cooler. Maybe start the day by going for a little walk. Just make sure you're moving. Don't be sedentary for too long. And that will have an incredible effect on health, well-being, and even performance.
Yeah, for sure. Like simple interventions, like even standing up from the chair is good for cognition, because instantly it will elevate the heart rate 10 to 20 beats, and it will spike a little bit adrenaline to help the blood pressure to stay constant. So that's immediate boost for our system and for our cognition. So our actually brain is better fueled when the blood is pumping correctly, and when we have energy to exert and we actually exert the energy to physical activity, we can definitely enhance our cognition. And there's a lot of studies, like there was this one interesting study where physical activity program was assigned to these 8 to 9-year-old kids who they did it 9 months. So it was 70-minute after-school physical activity program, and their cognitive function was improved because of this intervention, and it was improved a lot more than this control group. Obviously, the VO2 max was also improved, but also this cognitive function. So that's really interesting, and there seems to be a clear connection between being physically active and then having higher cognition. One thing also is that these kids who are more physically active actually have higher academic achievements, so they have better grades. But first, we need to ensure that we have the energy to invest, to do the exercise, and then we can facilitate these good improvements and pull the lever and cause the changes, what James explained.
We can imagine that our bodies are effectively a signaling system, and our bodies are listening to signals from our environment. And you can think about that environment in 6 elements. So we've got health, got biomechanics, nutrition, recovery, mental energy, and physical activity. And if you imagine in those 6 elements, you've got different levers associated with them. And the physical activity levers are really powerful. So when we engage in different types of physical activities, that sends a cascade of signals to our bodies, which will actually upgrade our engine. And when we talk about upgrading our engine, we mean that we're going to increase our body's capacity to supply energy for all kinds of activities, from thinking, moving, digesting food. Everything requires energy.
Well, first you need to really find the internal motivation, and you need to build your environment right. So many times we actually are so low on energy that perhaps the best thing actually is to just rest, recover, and sleep, and then come back stronger, and then do the exercise. But we need to learn from ourselves how we are and how could we construct our days, our weeks, so that we have enough energy to be invested to important things that are important for us, like exercises for the most of us, and we know all the benefits of exercise.
I think one of the things that's really important to remember as well is that energy comes from a single source. There's a single inner resource. And actually our nervous system, our liver, our heart, our brain, all require the same kind of energy, something called ATP. So when we're upgrading our engine through physical activity and being able to supply more energy, actually all these demands are drawing on that same pool. And so we think about cognition, we think about emotions and physical activity. And so actually the things that we do in the day can pull from that same source. And so it's important to be aware of that actually it's okay. We need to be flexible. Perhaps you've had a very demanding day. Don't force yourself to go to the gym. Maybe do something more regenerative, because we don't pull from different fuel tanks. We've just got one, ATP. I think my one piece of advice to boost energy would be to start the day by thinking about where you want to spend the energy that you have. Because before you can make any changes, you need to make some active decisions. And the best way to make some active decisions is to plan the decisions that you're going to make. So my one tip would be start the day by looking at where you need to spend your energy that day, and spend it in a way which reflects what you really care about.
Well, I think that first of all, you need to know who you are and where you want to be, and then you need to do those things that help you to be the man that you want to be and where you want to go. So everything else comes after that.